Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome back. I hope you've all had a really good Monday. Mine has been, mine has been kind of bad. I mean, this morning, I had all these errands I needed to run, and plus I had to tutor tonight. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get all these errands done, and I'll probably make it to class on time. Except, got to my car, put the key in, turned the key, and heard. So apparently, I'd been a major derp. Went out on Saturday, I think, to do a quick short errand, and then by the time I got back, parked the car and totally forgot to turn the light off, well, the dome light. So, day and a half of not driving, totally made the battery flat. So, yeah, that was a wonderful start to the day. Then, nobody around, middle of the day, so decided, well, can't get this car going, I'll just take public transit. So, yeah, late for everything, late for class. Yeah, so just got back home like a while ago and just started watching all the replays. So here we go. This was the top entry for the Tier 6 Destroyer Top Base Experience match, and it's done by Striker Man 1 in a Farragut. And I was kind of expecting a Farragut to win. Now, I've taken a look at all the other replays. I haven't really gotten around to trying to compile all the data and stuff like that. But from what I've been able to gather, there wasn't that many Farragut replays, but most of the Farragut replays that were sent in were pretty decent. Most of them were, quite a good amount away from sort of 2,000 base. Mitsuki's sort of were in the 2,000 range. I think I had one Ognivoy in the 2,000 range. But this match was really freaking awesome. And it really shows what a US destroyer should be doing, especially the Tier 6 one. Because, and I'm not sure if you guys have found this, but I've had times where I've run into good Farragut captains, and they don't do much damage a lot of times, but they were freaking annoying. They were able to run around and annoy the hell out of you, and that's pretty much what Striker Man does. First of all, he helps his team cap their base cap, so for that he gets the assist base capture ribbon, then goes over to the decap and essentially cap blocks the enemy team. So he kind of sits in cap at the very edge and prevents the enemy team from capping. Any of the enemy ships that were inside the decap, Striker Man fires his guns and gets a whole bunch of base capture reset ribbons. So far he's already managed to get himself 6. When the enemy Hatsuharu finally pushes up, Striker Man manages to hit him from inside a smoke cloud, so not being spotted and raining down a bunch of shells. And a Hatsuharu, it's okay as a torpedo boat, it's okay being hidden, but if you really come out in the open against a US destroyer, you're generally in quite a bit of trouble. And with his engine knocked out, this Hatsuharu becomes very easy prey, and Strikerman quickly bags himself his first kill. And at the end of this, even though Strikerman says, oh, I didn't actually do so much damage, there is one thing that you kind of have to understand. Killing a Tier 7 destroyer from full HP to nothing is the same equivalent as killing a Tier 7 battleship from full HP to nothing. So when US destroyers go a little passive, they don't want to fight destroyers, it's kind of a waste. You could get the same amount of experience killing a Tier 7 destroyer as you can get by killing a Tier 7 battleship. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of those stats things, talking about average damage, it's not always all that accurate. It doesn't really reflect. As a destroyer, if you kill a bunch of destroyers, you've done a good job, even though you don't have, 300,000 damage. So anyhow, Striker Man comes in here, manages to hold down the decap, prevents the enemy team from capping, kills the Hatsu, and manages to grab himself one full base capture ribbon. All by himself, no friendly ships on the cap. So that, right now, especially with the game the way it is right now, that's a whole ton of experience right there already. But Striker Man isn't done at all. Now, I am going to skip the portion where he spends a whole bunch of time lobbing a lot of shells at this New Mexico. So, we're going to skip that and pick up a little bit later on. Anyhow, so a bit later on, their C cap is being capped by something on the enemy team. Most likely one of the destroyers, whether that's a Hatsu or a Fubuki. So Striker Man is heading back to sea. And regardless of which of the two destroyers Striker runs into, as a Farragut, he should be able to tear them a new one. The Fubuki is the more difficult target, as if the Fubuki does have its guns in the right direction, it can fight back. The Fubuki actually has decent guns. Not all Japanese destroyers have great guns, but there are a few of them that are definitely usable, and the Fubuki is one of them. So Striker's heading back. Now, by this point in time, there's not that many ships left on the enemy team, 4 ships in total. So if Striker can kill whatever's on the C cap and then actually manages to cap it, well, there's another whole ton of experience there. I mean, at this point in time, you should probably sit there and guess how much base experience he gets. I mean, just, make a guess. Say, okay, I think this is how much he's going to get. And we'll see if you're correct or not, right? So make a wager. Anyhow, Striker Man heads back. By this point in time, already, he's done very, very well for himself. A kill, 2 base captures, essentially, 1 assist and 1 full, and a whole bunch of resets already. And speaking of which, by the way, as a US destroyer, not always your job to go out there and say, I'm going to successfully kill a battleship. Just killing destroyers is a massive help to your team, and it can net some really, really nice rewards. And you'll see this in a minute here. So Fubuki does pop up, and luckily for Striker Man, the Fubuki's guns are in the other direction, because the Fubuki is trying to kill off that really, really low HP Cleveland. So in that sense, this was a hugely favorable engagement for Striker, because this Fubuki had no guns on target. Maybe a few torpedoes, but that's about it. So Striker has pretty much free reign to do what he wants with this Fubuki, and in no time at all, with the US guns ready to fire, especially because it's up close, so the arc isn't all that bad. Dead Fubuki. And this Fubuki was also full HP. So again, a massive amount of experience, because that's the equivalent of killing a tier 8 battleship, and that's a huge amount of EXP. So Striker immediately goes back onto sea, retakes it for his team. A quick look on the minimap tells Striker exactly where the enemy ships are. There is a mostly dead Nagato by himself on Alpha, fighting 3 enemy ships, and there's a Hatsuharu on Bravo. So Striker initially heads towards the Nagato, but I think very, very soon after realizes that, okay, the Nagato's gonna die. Hatsu took Bravo, and the only reasonable place that Hatsu could be heading for is Delta, because Delta should be empty. At least the Hatsuharu's thinking. So Striker immediately turns around, fully caps C all by himself, so that's 2 full base captures. And right now, with the way that World of Warships EXP system is structured, base captures count for a metric ton of experience. So getting 2 of those is massive. So Striker heads the other way, heading towards Delta to try to cut off that Hatsuharu. Now, going back to the base capture point that I was trying to talk about. Base capping is incredibly important, and if you happen to be in destroyers, really do think about that first. So many times I see ships just going, oh no, I'm just going to go and try to stealth toward battleships because that's going to be awesome. No, try to focus on the objective first, try to get the caps, and then as a sort of a secondary objective, if you can torp battleships, then torp battleships. Do that. And also, if you're in a Japanese destroyer, whatever you do, don't forget about your guns. Your guns can be really useful in helping reset stuff. Again, you've got to sail your ship a little bit more aggressively, but helping your team reset is also really important. Anyways, that Hatsuharu does pop up in Delta. Also pops up reasonably close to Striker, so that Hatsu is in deep trouble. Engine got knocked out, and at this kind of range, a US destroyer doesn't even have that arc, and so Striker is quickly going to be able to finish off this Hatsu. First by taking out his engine and resetting him a bunch of times, and I think just off that one Hatsu, I think he might have picked up like a couple of base reset ribbons. Eventually, his torpedo does claim victim number 3. And so let's see how Striker did, because this is pretty damn awesome. On a free account, Striker manages 368,677 credits, 6,159 experience. That's no flag, no premium, just the 1.5 and the base. You know, 1 torpedo hit that got the Hatsuharu kill at the end. 3 destroyers sunk from full HP. 14 base defense ribbons, 2 base capture, 1 assisted base capture. And all of this amounted to, get ready for this base experience number, 4,106. Holy crap. Had he put on a flag and had a premium account, I think this battle would have netted him 13,000 something experience on a non-event day. So Striker, that was freaking amazing. Keep an eye open on your email and I'll be sending you some doubloons. Anyways, folks, I'm going to have to get this video rendered and uploaded, so it's going to take me a little bit longer to get everything up. There is not going to be a challenge this week as I'm just about to collapse and pass out. So, you know, I do wish you all have a fantastic week, and I look forward to talking to all of you again soon. Adios.